What the teal, y'all? Welcome to Nova Jade's Mintcast. I'm Nova Jade, and today we're diving into one of the weirdest things our brains do. Have you ever had a song get stuck in your head for hours, maybe even days? Today we're going to find out why.
Let's chase the unknown. See how far we can go. Know the Jade, bringing fresh ideas your way. Big dreams, bright minds, one question at a time. What the teal? Let's find out what's real. What the teal? That's the way.
Picture this. You're doing homework after school. Everything is going fine. Then suddenly a song starts playing in your head, not on your phone or your headphones, just inside your brain. Maybe it's your favorite song, maybe it's a TikTok sound you've heard 100 times, maybe it's a song you don't even like very much, yet somehow your brain keeps replaying it over and over again. Have you ever caught yourself humming without realizing it? Maybe you've tapped the beat on your desk during class. Maybe you've sung a chorus while brushing your teeth. Sometimes these songs seem impossible to escape. The more you try not to think about them, the stronger they become. Scientists have actually spent years studying this phenomenon. They wanted to understand why some songs stick while others disappear. They studied memory, music, and the way our brains process patterns. What they discovered was pretty fascinating. It turns out your brain might be working exactly as designed. The strange thing is that this happens to almost everyone. In fact, researchers estimate that most people experience a stuck song at least once every week. Some people experience it every single day. So if you've ever felt like your brain has its own playlist, you're definitely not alone. You're actually part of a very large club. Before we get into the science, let's give this phenomenon its official name. Scientists call it involuntary musical imagery. That's a pretty complicated way of saying a song is playing in your head without your permission. Most people simply call it an earworm. And no, it doesn't involve actual worms. The name earworm comes from the idea that a melody burrows into your thoughts and refuses to leave. Once it gets comfortable, it keeps repeating itself. Sometimes it's only one line from a song, sometimes it's the chorus, sometimes it's just a short musical phrase that loops endlessly. But why does this happen? Why doesn't your brain randomly replay math equations or history notes all day long? Why does music get special treatment? The answer has a lot to do with the way our brains are wired. Music turns out to be one of the most powerful forms of information we process. By the end of today's episode, you'll understand why catchy songs exist. You'll learn why social media sounds are designed to stick in your memory. You'll discover how your brain predicts music before it even happens, and you might never listen to your favorite songs the same way again. So let's jump into the science behind the soundtrack inside your head. Your brain is constantly searching for patterns. It's one of the reasons humans are so good at learning languages, recognizing faces, and understanding the world around us. Every second of every day, your brain is trying to predict what will happen next. Music happens to be one giant collection of patterns. It has rhythms, melodies, beats, and repeating structures. Your brain absolutely loves this kind of information. In fact, music gives your brain a chance to make thousands of tiny predictions while you're listening. Think about your favorite song for a moment. Even if you haven't heard it in a while, you probably know when the chorus is about to start. You know when the beat is about to drop. You can often predict the next word before the singer says it. That's because your brain has learned the pattern. The more familiar the pattern becomes, the easier it is for your brain to follow along. And surprisingly, your brain enjoys being right. Scientists have discovered that when your brain correctly predicts something, it gives itself a small reward. Not a reward like money or pizza, unfortunately. Instead, your brain releases chemicals that make you feel good. It's one of the reasons finishing a puzzle feels satisfying. It's also why guessing the ending of a movie can be exciting. Music constantly creates these little moments of prediction and reward. Every successful prediction encourages your brain to pay even more attention. But here's where things get interesting. The best songs aren't completely predictable. If every note happened exactly when you expected it, music would become boring very quickly. Great songs balance familiarity with surprise. They give your brain enough information to follow the pattern. Then they add something unexpected to keep things exciting. That combination is one of the secrets behind a catchy song. Imagine you're walking down a staircase. If every step is exactly the same height, you can walk without thinking. But if one step is slightly different, you'll notice it immediately. Music works in a similar way. Your brain gets comfortable with the pattern. Then a surprising lyric, beat change, or melody catches your attention. That moment of surprise makes the song more memorable, and memorable songs are much more likely to get stuck in your head. This is one reason social media songs spread so quickly. Most viral clips use short, simple patterns that are easy for your brain to learn. After hearing them just a few times, your brain already knows what comes next. Then every new video reinforces the pattern again. Before long, the song becomes deeply familiar. That's why you might find yourself singing a 15-second clip even though you've never listened to the full song. Your brain has already memorized the pattern. So when a song gets stuck in your head, it isn't because your brain is malfunctioning. It's actually a sign that your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. It's finding patterns, making predictions, and storing information it thinks might be useful later. Music just happens to be one of the most effective pattern delivery systems ever created, and that's only part of the story. Next, we're going to look at why some songs seem impossible to forget once they've entered your memory. Have you ever wondered why you can remember the lyrics to a song from years ago but forget what you studied last week? That's because music activates several parts of your brain at the same time. When you listen to a song, your brain isn't just hearing sounds. It's also processing emotions, rhythm, language, and memories. The more areas of your brain involved, the stronger the memory becomes. That's one reason songs can stay with us for years. Music is often connected to important moments in our lives. Maybe a certain song reminds you of a summer vacation. Maybe it reminds you of a sports season, a friendship, or a school dance. The song becomes attached to the memory like a label on a file folder. Later, hearing even a few seconds of that song can bring those memories rushing back. Scientists call this associative memory. Your brain links things together and stores them as a package. This is why two people can hear the exact same song and react completely differently. One person might think it's just another song on the radio. Another person might instantly remember a specific moment from years ago. Their brain has attached meaning to the music. The stronger the emotion connected to that memory, the stronger the association becomes, and strong associations are much harder to forget. That's one reason emotional songs often become earworms. But emotions aren't the only factor. Repetition plays a huge role too. Think about how often you hear certain songs today. They appear on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and sometimes even in advertisements. You might hear the same chorus 20 times without realizing it. Every repetition strengthens the pathway in your brain. Eventually, your brain starts treating the song like important information. Researchers have found that songs with simple, repetitive lyrics are especially likely to become stuck in your head. That's because they're easy for your brain to rehearse. Your mind can replay them without much effort. Complicated songs require more mental energy to remember. Simple songs can run on autopilot. That's why catchy choruses often outperform complex verses when it comes to becoming earworms. There is also something called the unfinished loop effect. Your brain doesn't like incomplete information. If you hear only part of a song, your mind sometimes tries to finish it automatically. It's similar to reading half of a mystery novel and not knowing how it ends. Your brain wants closure. Until it gets that closure, it may keep replaying the song in the background. This is one reason short social media clips can be so powerful. So far, we've learned that earworms are created by patterns, repetition, memory, and emotion working together. But there is another major factor that influences what gets stuck in your head. Believe it or not, some songs are intentionally written to be memorable. Songwriters understand a lot about how listeners think. In the next section, we're going behind the scenes to explore the secret ingredients of a truly catchy song. Let's pull back the curtain and look at how catchy songs are made. Most hit songs aren't successful by accident. Songwriters spend countless hours figuring out what makes music memorable. They experiment with melodies, lyrics, rhythms, and structures. Sometimes a chorus gets rewritten dozens of times before it's released. The goal is often to create something listeners can remember after hearing it only once or twice. That's much harder than it sounds. One of the biggest tools songwriters use is repetition. If you've ever noticed a chorus repeating several times, that's not a coincidence. Repetition helps your brain recognize patterns more quickly. Every time the chorus returns, it becomes more familiar. The more familiar it feels, the easier it is to remember. Eventually, your brain can predict it before it even arrives. That's when a song really starts to stick. Another secret ingredient is simplicity. Many of the world's biggest songs use lyrics that are easy to understand and easy to sing. The melody often moves in a way that feels natural and comfortable. You don't need musical training to follow along. Your brain doesn't have to work very hard to process the information. That low effort makes the song easier to replay later. Simplicity is often far more powerful than complexity. But if a song is too simple, people can get bored. That's why great songwriters add moments of surprise. Maybe it's an unexpected lyric, maybe it's a sudden pause before the beat drops, maybe it's a key change that makes the song feel bigger and more emotional. These surprises grab your attention. Your brain notices them immediately because they break the pattern, and anything that stands out has a better chance of being remembered. This balance between predictability and surprise is what keeps listeners engaged. Imagine watching a movie where you knew exactly what would happen in every scene. It wouldn't be very exciting. Now imagine a movie that made no sense at all. That wouldn't be enjoyable either. The best movies find a balance between familiar and unexpected. Great songs follow the same rule. Have you ever noticed that some songs get stuck in your head after hearing only a short clip? That's because our brains don't always need the entire song. Sometimes a single hook is enough. In music, a hook is the part designed to grab your attention and stay with you. It could be a lyric, a melody, or even a rhythm. The strongest hooks can become recognizable around the world. Think about how many songs you can identify within the first few seconds. Some songs need only a drum beat or a single note before people recognize them. That's the power of a strong hook. It's like a logo for a company or a catchphrase for a famous character. Once your brain learns it, it becomes difficult to forget. And when that hook starts replaying itself in your mind, congratulations, you've got an earworm. Now let's talk about social media. If you think songs get stuck in your head more often today than they did 10 years ago, you're probably right. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts are built around short bursts of content. These clips are designed to grab your attention quickly, and music plays a huge role in making that happen. In many ways, social media is the perfect environment for creating earworms. It combines repetition, emotion, and constant exposure all in one place. Think about what happens when a sound goes viral. You might hear the exact same audio dozens of times in a single day. Different creators use it in different videos, different jokes, different stories, different situations, but the sound remains the same. Every time you hear it, your brain strengthens the memory. Before long, the audio becomes almost impossible to ignore. What's interesting is that your brain doesn't really care whether you're paying full attention. Even if you're scrolling quickly, your brain is still processing the music. That's one reason you can suddenly remember a sound you weren't even trying to learn. Your brain was collecting information in the background. It recognized the pattern and stored it away. Then later it decides to replay it, sometimes at the most random moments imaginable. Social media also takes advantage of something called emotional tagging. When a song is paired with a funny video, an inspiring moment, or a dramatic story, your brain links the music to the emotion. The next time you hear the song, those feelings can come rushing back. That's part of the reason viral sounds spread so effectively. People aren't just sharing the music, they're sharing the emotion attached to it. Another reason social media creates powerful earworms is because of timing. Most viral clips are very short. Instead of hearing a 3-minute song, you're hearing the most memorable 10 or 15 seconds. It's like getting only the best part over and over again. Your brain receives a concentrated dose of the catchiest section, and because you never hear the rest of the song, your mind may keep replaying it to fill in the gaps. This creates a strange situation. Millions of people can know the same 15-second clip without knowing the full song. The hook becomes more famous than the actual track. For many artists, this can be incredibly valuable. A catchy snippet can introduce their music to people around the world. Sometimes a viral moment can launch an entire career, all because a small piece of music found its way into people's brains. So if you've ever caught yourself singing a random TikTok sound while doing homework, walking home, or trying to sleep, you're not alone. Social media has become one of the most effective earworm machines ever created. It constantly feeds your brain short, memorable patterns. And your brain happily stores them away for later. But here's the really fascinating question. Why did humans evolve to respond so strongly to music in the first place? Humans have been making music for thousands of years. Long before smartphones, streaming services, or even written language, people were singing, drumming, and creating rhythms together. Scientists believe music may have played an important role in helping early humans connect with one another. It helped groups communicate, celebrate, and share emotions. In many cultures, music became part of storytelling, ceremonies, and everyday life. The fact that nearly every culture on Earth developed music suggests that it's deeply connected to who we are. Music isn't just entertainment, it's part of what makes us human. One reason music is so powerful is that it activates many parts of the brain at once. When you listen to a song, your brain isn't doing just one thing. It's processing rhythm, melody, language, emotion, memory, and movement all at the same time. Few activities engage the brain this broadly. That's why music can feel so immersive. It creates a full brain experience. Your mind becomes completely involved in what's happening. Have you ever noticed how difficult it is to sit completely still during a great song? Maybe your foot starts tapping, maybe your head starts nodding, maybe you find yourself moving without even thinking about it. That's because rhythm connects strongly with the parts of the brain responsible for movement. Scientists call this entrainment. It's the tendency for our bodies to naturally synchronize with the beat. Your brain literally wants to move along with the music. Music also has a unique relationship with emotion. A movie soundtrack can make a scene feel exciting, scary, sad, or inspiring. The exact same visual scene can feel completely different depending on the music playing underneath it. That's because music helps shape emotional experiences. It can amplify feelings that are already there. It can even create emotions all by itself. That's part of what makes songs so memorable. Think about your own playlist for a moment. You probably have songs for different moods. Some songs help you focus, some help you work out, some help you relax after a stressful day, some remind you of good memories. Music often becomes part of our personal identity. The songs we listen to can reflect who we are, how we feel, and what matters to us. Because music is connected to memory, movement, emotion, and identity, your brain gives it special treatment. It pays attention in ways that it doesn't pay attention to most other information. That's why you can forget someone's phone number but still remember lyrics from years ago. Music creates stronger connections inside the brain. The stronger the connection, the easier it is to retrieve later. Sometimes those memories come back when we least expect them. So when a song gets stuck in your head, it isn't simply because the song is catchy. It's because music taps into some of the most powerful systems your brain has. Pattern recognition, memory, emotion, attention, and movement all work together. The result is something that can stay with you for hours, days, or even years. And now that we understand why songs stick, let's talk about something everyone wants to know. How do you actually get an earworm out of your head when it won't leave? So what can you do when a song gets stuck in your head and refuses to leave? The good news is that there are actually a few tricks that might help. The first one is surprisingly simple. Listen to the entire song from beginning to end. This helps your brain feel like the musical story has been completed. Remember when we talked about unfinished loops earlier? Sometimes your brain keeps replaying a song because it feels like the job isn't finished yet. By listening to the whole track, you give your brain the closure it's looking for. Think of it like finishing the final chapter of a book. Once the story is complete, your mind can move on. For many people, this works surprisingly well. Another strategy is to replace the song with something else. Some people listen to a different song, others listen to a podcast or audiobook. The goal is to give your brain a new pattern to focus on. It's a bit like changing the channel on a television. Instead of fighting the earworm, you're redirecting your attention somewhere new. You can also try engaging your brain with a challenging activity. Reading, solving puzzles, playing strategy games, or learning something new can help. These activities require mental focus. When your brain becomes occupied with another task, it has less room available for the song loop. It's not guaranteed to work every time, but many people find it helpful. The funny thing is that earworms are usually harmless. They can be annoying sometimes, but they're actually evidence that your brain is functioning normally. Your mind is constantly organizing information, recognizing patterns, and storing memories. Music just happens to be one of the most memorable forms of information we encounter. In a way, earworms are a side effect of having an incredibly powerful brain. That's not such a bad problem to have. The next time a song gets stuck in your head, try looking at it differently. Instead of thinking of it as an annoyance, think of it as a glimpse into how your brain works. Your mind is predicting patterns, it's recalling memories, it's making connections between emotions and experiences. All of that is happening automatically, and honestly, that's pretty amazing. Today we learned that songs get stuck in our heads because of repetition, memory, emotion, and pattern recognition. We learned that social media can supercharge earworms by exposing us to the same sounds again and again. We learned that music activates many parts of the brain at the same time. And we learned that earworms aren't bugs in the system. They're features of a brain that loves music. Before we wrap up, it's time for today's mint thought. The things that stay in our minds are often the things that make us feel something. Sometimes that's a memory, sometimes it's a conversation, and sometimes it's a song that somehow becomes part of the soundtrack of our lives. What sticks with us often tells us what matters to us. And that's it for today's episode of Nova Jade's Mintcast. Thanks for hanging out with me and exploring the science behind the songs that won't leave your head. I hope you learned something new and maybe even looked at music a little differently. Until next time, stay curious, keep asking questions, and keep exploring the world around you. And whenever life surprises you, just smile and say, "What the teal?"
Yeah. Miss Studio, let's go. Yeah, got questions running through my mind. Yeah, looking for answers I can find. From the music in your headphones to the stars and satellites above. Oh yeah, every day a new discovery. A little science, it's mystery. Take a look, come along with me. There's a whole world waiting to be seen. We don't know till we ask why. Keep your eyes on the bigger sky. Every answer starts with curiosity. So come and explore with me. Whoa, let's chase the unknown. Whoa, see how far we can go. Know the Jade, bringing fresh ideas your way. Big dreams, bright minds, one question at a time. What the teal? Let's find out what's real. What the teal? That's the way we feel. Why do songs get stuck in your head? Why do we dream when we're in bed? What's the future gonna look like? Yeah, can we build it tonight? Tech, culture, music, trends, new adventures around the bend. Every episode starts a conversation, powered by my imagination. We don't know till we ask why. Keep your eyes on the bigger sky. Every answer starts with curiosity. So come and explore with me. Whoa, let's chase the unknown. Whoa, see how far we can go. Nova Jade, bringing fresh ideas your way. Big dreams, bright minds, one question at a time. What the teal? Let's find out what's real. What the teal? That's the way we feel. Shout to Nova Jade and always stay curious. Stay curious. Stay creative. And whenever life surprises you, just say, what the teal?